I am so anti-faking it. I can't even express it in enough words. People are never going to learn, and the problem's just going to keep getting passed around to women all over the world. It's an epidemic, and we've got the power to stop it. Hello loves, welcome to Love What Luck. I'm Sadie, your gal who is absolutely roasting right now, recording this because I've had to shut all the windows for the sound. And my cow's lick is coming out thick and fast. If you're watching this on YouTube, expect my hair to look different by the end of the episode for sure. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll notice I'm in a different spot again because until I get that studio, I'm yet to find a place where I feel like is right for me. So I don't know, we're trying it out here today. But anyway, hope you're all having a good week. Hope you're all thriving. I hope the energy is really good. You know, I was showering earlier and I was just thinking like how I'm gonna intro this week's episode, and I was like, I'm just feeling really good vibes today, and I just want to bring the good vibes to the episode because it hasn't been good vibes all week for me. There's been no real reason for it. I honestly think it's partly, don't want to speak for everyone, but sometimes I think it's just being a girl. I need to like read or watch something that goes on about a cycle. I feel like I saw an advert for some podcast about it, but I obviously can't remember like what it was, who it was speaking. But I do feel like sometimes you just get days as a girl where you just can't cope with stuff. For example, what day was it? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. One day this week, I went to get my nails done. And you know, like when you're just having one of those, it wasn't even a day. It was like an hour, maybe even less. But where like things are going wrong, I had to return a parcel. There was like this massive box that was going wrong, my nail salon. I won't bore you, but I was like stressed, right? Anyway, went to go and get my nails done. I was like, go and get my nails done, it'd be nice. I sat down. Everything he checked with me, I was like, yeah, that should be okay, yeah. No, he cut them so short. Then he painted them the wrong colour. And let me tell you, by the time I had paid, I could barely keep my tears in up the stairs to leave. Like, I felt like a child. Like, I could barely contain myself. I was like, I'm going to burst into tears at this man's desk in this nail salon. You know that TikTok of a girl, you must know it, it's like the sound went viral. And she's like crying over her nails and she's like, this is what I wanted, the pastels. And this is what I got. And she's crying, right? And I've never judged that video, but I've always thought, oh my God, like, who can cry like that over their nails? Oh, it was me. It was me. I went back, I had to go back to work. I was in the office toilets, sobbing. I'm not exaggerating, I was sobbing. Like, I couldn't even control myself. I was just looking at my fingers and I was like, they looked so short, fat and stumpy. I was just like disgusted with it. And I just couldn't believe it. It took me maybe 10 minutes to sort myself out. Then I was Googling, why am I crying for no reason? Like, what is wrong with me? It was mad, honestly. Last week's episode, if you thought the intro was a bit choppy, it's because it was. I cut half of it out because I was just a mess, honestly. I don't know. So anyway, this week, my point is, I wanted to intro the episode with good vibes only, you know? Life is a roller coaster. Sometimes you gotta ride it, but the truth is, Ronan, I don't want to ride it sometimes. Sometimes I just want I don't even want to go on a roller coaster. I just want a nice flat walk, if that's okay. So, you know, I accept that there's ups and downs. I just don't want to ride the roller coaster anymore. So anyway, I'm coming with good vibes. Hopefully when you're listening to this, you are thriving, you've had the best week ever, and yeah, let's kickstart your day, your night, wherever, whenever you're watching this, with a story. Before I go into it, obviously, I have to tell you guys, please come and follow me on Spotify, Apple, subscribe on YouTube, wherever you find me. Just give your gal a follow. It takes like 0.5 seconds for you and will literally mean nothing to you and won't even affect you. But it will make my whole life. Like, Your gal needs the studio. We need to get to 1,000 followers on Spotify so I can finally do the giveaway. I don't even know if we're at 800. Hopefully we'll be way into 800 by the time this comes out. But yeah, please help a gal out before we go into it. I'll allow you some time. Whilst you're there, leave me a cheeky review if you like. A little 5-star review. You know, nice little Q&A comment. Love the podcast. Send your gal a DM. Let's keep the good vibes going. Let's share the love. You know my little tagline that I used to say in my intro? Let's just share the love. Anyway, okay, let's go into this week's Love or Luck story. A year ago, my life came crashing down when my ex-partner and the father of my child, who was 6 months old at the time, threw us out with no explanation. It was a Sunday. He woke up and told me to go, leave my keys and text him when we had gone. Do you know what weirdly makes me really sad about this is that she remembers what day it is? Because, you know, like people always say you remember where you are when like a certain person dies or when you get like big news. That's obviously, like, she remembers that day in detail. And also I feel like a Sunday is such a day, like, imagine they're a family, yes, they got a little baby. Sunday's probably the day that usually they would, you know, wake up together, and it's quite like a relaxing day, you know, there's no school run, there's no work. Obviously, it depends what they do, but obviously they're not in work. So, that made me sad. Yeah, literally just decides to make his partner and his child homeless. Just for bants on a Sunday, like what the hell? He went down the pub as I packed up 7 carloads and went to my sister's. Man went and had a drink whilst not only your partner, but your partner and your child is being forced to pack up. That's the part I can't grasp, is the baby as well. What on earth? His behaviour had started to change a few weeks before, and no matter how much I asked what was going on, he would never explain or even try with our relationship. I feel like this is classic men, you know? And don't come at me, but I literally had a conversation with my friend the other day about how men, like, just bottle stuff up loads, and they don't think the same way as us. Like, women would rather generally, if there's a problem, just like talk about it. But men, I don't know what goes on in their little boop, 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 their little brain that's like rattling round in there. But they just don't think the same way, and they don't want to talk about anything. And then it just results in like a massive shock, like out of nowhere, this happens. Not okay. I stayed in my sister's for 4 months and was so down. I had no confidence, no income and no home. I managed to return back to work earlier than expected, however, and finally found mine and my little boy's forever home. Congratulations, that's super cute. Fast forward a year, I got a Facebook request from someone who I grew up with. I'm seeing a lot of these Facebook requests on the new loves. I feel like Facebook might be coming back with a place to be to find love. Because it probably is one of the most intimate things. I feel like a follow these days is like, oh, it's a follow. A friend request just got a little bit of a different like handle on it, I feel. I think Facebook might be the place to be. You heard it here first. We chatted for a few weeks and then eventually met up for drinks and had the best time. He's thoughtful, kind, and my confidence is thriving. Love that word. I truly believe all the heartache I went through last year has made me who I am today, and that after every storm there is a rainbow. Bad times don't last forever, and true happiness does exist. Love that. Do you know, this is like the burnt toast theory. You know, like I always say, everything happens for a reason. I like truly obviously believe that to my deathbed, in my core and my soul of me. But I've been seeing this thing on TikTok lately. It's called the burnt toast theory. And it's basically the theory that if you burn your toast in the morning and then that makes you late, yeah, because you put another piece of toast in or you're cleaning up, whatever, making you late to that meeting could be saving you from a car crash, or it could put you in the right place at the right time to meet somebody special. Like, oh, your toast is burnt, so right, screw it, I'm going to go to Pret and get a croissant. And then when you're in the pret queue, you meet somebody or you see an old friend that you haven't seen for years. And it's just like this theory that basically every bad thing that happens to you, like any like failure or something bad, is for the greater good. Because nobody ever stays in a bad situation forever. Like, there's always stuff that can be picked up. And look, even if you don't believe it as you're listening to me and you're thinking this is a load of bullshit, I think just try it out, because it's just going to help you out. All it's going to do is make you think more positively, and that's just the best thing ever, isn't it? So I think it's a good way to keep the good vibes going. It's also like, do you remember that episode I did, Lucky Girl Syndrome? I think like the name of, like, you'll have that in the episode if you want to go and listen to it. That was the same thing, where you just like say to yourself all the time, do you know what? Everything's going to work out. Everything is going to work out. Says me, by the way, who started the podcast crying over my nails. But I text my friends like, why am I sobbing after my nails? Like, I felt so pathetic. And then the next day I was like, update, I like my nails, I understand everything's going to be okay and they'll grow back. Like, thank you for being on this journey with me. So that was a little bit slower to come into my mind, that little lucky girl syndrome. But generally, that is how you have to think, like, about life. Everything happens for a reason. And yeah, you just got to trust that any failure you go through, something better is coming. So yeah, thank you for this week's story. Once again, need to get more stories in. They are like drying up a little bit. I've almost gone through my messages, and to be honest, I think it's because I've been putting clips of my podcast up more than just stories. I've noticed I don't get as many messages, so I'm going to start recording just stories again. So come and follow me on Instagram firstly. I'm going to share these on the @LoveWhatLuck Instagram. If you want to come and see what I'm up to personally, then I'm at Sadie Maltby. All the links are below. But yeah, I'm going to start sharing those again because we need more stories. So help me get the word out for the podcast. Share a reel, tag your friends if you like one. Just tell them about the podcast even. And yeah, just help me get out. I had a little message from somebody in Sweden earlier, which I absolutely loved. She was like, I'm from Sweden and I love your podcast. I was like, yay, I love that. I love getting out to different places. Literally every week I check like the countries that we reach, and we got some numbers in some pretty good places. But yeah, point is we need stories, so just, spread the love and just give your gal a little shout out. If anyone's talking about any podcasts that they listen to, if anyone says they have a spare 10 minutes, just be like, you should listen to a clip of Love What Luck. I listen to stuff all the time now, actually. I'm even into audiobooks, which it took me like a really long time to get into. But yeah, I feel like I actually listen to stuff now more than I read. Anyway, I have to tell you about one of the baddest things I saw this week, right? I was walking home from work, and I know it doesn't make any difference that it's light, but I feel like I need to add in, obviously it was light because it was like normal time, yeah, and it's summertime now. It was light, it was busy. I was walking down, with my earphones in. I see this guy with an Uber delivery rucksack, like the big food delivery ones on his back, sprinting past me, grabs this teenager by his shoulders on a bike and pulls him off. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Took me a second, then I realised this teenage boy, for a laugh, right, because he wasn't actually stealing it, but for a laugh, I just picked up this Uber guy's bike and was just driving around and laughing. He was actually looking back and being laughing in this Uber deliveries. What they got? Uber Eats. I knew it was. I knew I couldn't think of the word then. Laughing in this Uber Eats deliveries guy's face. I couldn't believe the cheek. And I don't know why, because I know kids are super cheeky these days. But when I was a teenager, right, compared to lots of people, I had, not a bit of a rough, well, was it? Maybe. Your gal was out in the streets. That's all I'm going to say. I was out in the streets. Anybody from Ferndale listening will know Shout out to GSM, the Grandstand Massive. Basically, we used to go up the park, Darren Park, and there's a grandstand where, you know, like you watch sports wherever. So we used to call ourselves Grandstand Massive. We used to have a little Bebo group, remember Bebo? And the picture was like some aggressive dog or something, I think. Like, we thought we were gangsters. We used to sit up there, get a bottle of cider, blast 50 Cent, bit of G-Unit, rap. Just thought, really, that we were, like, cool. But best believe if an adult walked past, we would have been, like, hiding a drink. If they'd said, will you turn that down a bit, please? We'd be like, yeah, sorry. We would have been really well behaved, even though we were like naughty, really, because we were doing like naughty things and we were young. But the respect for the elders was still there. Kids these days do not give a single shit. He was laughing in this guy's face, and then when the guy was going mad, like I thought he was going to hit him. He was squaring up to him, and then the teenager was like, allow it, man, allow it, like a bit frightened. And then as soon as the guy left him, he was laughing again in his face. I was just like giving the teenager daggers, and I was like, for shame. Get back to after school club. Go and sort yourself out. What type of boyfriend are you going to be? If you're stealing bikes for fun. Just for a laugh. It wasn't even like, he wasn't even stealing it. Because he was like riding it slow. He was just antagonising another human being for a laugh. But no one was laughing apart from him. Because everyone else was just looking like, what is this guy doing? Times have changed, you know. I had a conversation with was it last night, I think, about kids, actually, and what it must be like now. Like, you know, like the age my generation lost their virginity, which I'm not going to, you know, go into too much because my mother listens to this podcast episodes. But I just do wonder now, does that get younger? Or is it flipped because now people, like teenagers, are more on their phones and stuff? I don't know. I'm actually not going to go down this road because this is not what my podcast is about. But I don't know. I was just looking at them like, I'm old now, because that to me is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous behaviour. Okay, so let's go into this week's Instagram question, because I loved last week's kinks, as you know. It was like quite easily the funniest episode I've ever recorded. So I think I'm going to bring Instagram questions to you every week. I actually have loads, right, from when I first started that I asked you guys, and I didn't put it on the podcast. I just used to post it on the stories, but I've still got them all saved. So I might, if I need more, I'll like re-ask the question. But otherwise, I might just read them. Anyway, you don't need to know that. All you need to know is I'm going to bring a little Insta question to us every week, so we can find out what the listener, or so I can find out what the listeners get up to as well. I'm spilling all my stories here every week, so I feel like I need some of yours back. What is the biggest lie you've ever told? That I was working at the pub, but I was actually an escort during uni. The best times ever. Oh, I bet they were, gal. I bet they were. To be fair, you probably should have worked in the pub as well and got some extra clientele in, but very smooth and a good cover-up as well because of the hours with the pub. What a time that must have been. We need some more stories from that. I finished too. Oh! She went there. To be fair, you know how I feel about that. Or you should know by now how I feel about that. I am so anti-faking it. I can't even express it in enough words. I just would never do it. People are never going to learn if you fake it. They're never going to learn, and the problem's just going to keep getting passed around to women all over the world. It needs to be contained and taught and nipped in the bud. Sharpish. It's an epidemic, and we've got the power to stop it. Okay, next one. Your baby is so cute. That is savage. My ex told me he had cancer and a year left to live. 6 years later, he's still here. Same ex also told me he won 10 mil on the lottery, but he's still living with his parents. Oh, mate. Why? My ex was in hospital with a brain tumour. He was actually cheating. To be fair, that one for me, wins points for originality. Because how are you faking a brain tumour? It's like, you need some acting skills to follow that up. The logistics of lying about having a brain tumour is just too much for me. Like, just say you've started golfing or something, or bowling, you know? A brain tumour, really? Like, how long do you need to be out for? Why don't you just break up with me? A brain tumour can put you out for like 6 months. What, and then you're just going to come back after your 6 month affair and be like, I'm okay now. Sorry you couldn't come and visit me, like visitors weren't allowed. Absolutely wild sayings. When a guy says, I'm not like the others. Shade. This one I felt personally attacked by. Somebody said, I'll be there in 10. That's me. If I tell you I've left, I 100% have no. If I tell you I've left, I'm probably just about to put my shoes on. That's like about the time. And then all I've got to do is put my shoes on, pack my bag, check myself again in the mirror, and then leave. So that's my I've left. My I'm on my way is me technically just leaving. Like I've just shut the door, and like before I've even locked the door, I'm saying I'm on my way. But really, I've just stepped outside my front door. So that's me. My ex told me his mum had died to excuse the fact he was with his ex for a dirty weekend. Oh, no, I'm very against lying about people's deaths, because you can't play with something like that. I would always be afraid that the person I said that had passed away would actually pass away, and I could never cope with that guilt. I would more easily cope with the cheating guilt than the guilt of me personally feeling like I had unalived somebody. That's not for me. Okay, I don't get this one, but I'm going to read it out in case you guys understand it. Somebody said, being told, here goes nothing. I don't get that. I don't know if he means that actually when you say here goes nothing, something happens. I don't know, that kind of went over my head, but I thought I'd still share it in case I'm like missing a joke or something. Okay, somebody said, when I was asked if I ever killed anyone, I said no. I'm hoping that that's a joke. These I've obviously gone into the anonymous sections now. Somebody said, I really like you. That's a dangerous lie. That's a dangerous, sneaky lie. I've definitely told somebody, like a boyfriend when I was younger, that I loved him and I didn't know. How bad is that? But like when somebody that you're with and you're happy being in a relationship with them says I love you, I just didn't have the heart to not say it back. I don't think I said it back straight away. So he must have known I wasn't like head over heels in love. But I did eventually say to him, like, I love you too. That's probably the worst lie I've ever told, actually, when I think about it. Because it's savage. I would never do it now, not as you're older. If a guy said to me now, I love you, and I wasn't feeling it, I would be like, oh, wait, we're on, like, different paths. Like, we need to cut this sharpish, because I'm not down for that. But when I was young, I was like, yeah, I love you too. Still with the guy for 3.5 years, mind. So, who's the joke really on? Clearly me. Said he didn't have children and really wanted them. Found out through a different account he had a 1-year-old daughter. Oh no. Oh, that's so sad. That's sad on so many levels, because he's lying to you. He's also lying to himself, because he's got to completely hide like a massive part of his life. And it's so sad for his daughter as well. Also, it's so common these days for people to get with people that have got kids. You might as well just say it. Get out in the open. If the person you're dating's got a problem with it, then they know for you anyway. So just like save everyone's time. Do you get me? That's a bad one. We don't like that one. Worst lie I've been told. We divorced 18 months ago, when in fact they had a child when he said they got divorced. What? We divorced 18 months ago, when in fact they had a child when he said they got divorced. Oh, wait, sorry. So the worst lie is we divorced 18 months ago. In reality, they'd had a child 18 months ago. I didn't know he had a child, and he was still married. 6 months of pure lies. Wait, so the guy said he got divorced 1.5 years ago. Instead, he was still married with an 18-month-old child. Oh my God. 6 months he kept that up? Wow, that is the worst lie. That's too much for me. Why do people do it for, though? Like, just break up, please. I beg you. I beg you. A one-time thing, right, you can understand, whatever. 6 months? Really, sir? No. Okay, we got another one. She said, not really a lie, but he was a cheating liar. Standard. When I was in sixth form, I had my boyfriend, ex now, on Find My Friends. He was meant to be at a nightclub, but instead he was in a random park. I left it and didn't text or call. He later phoned me and started with the whole I love you shit. I didn't reply and just asked, who was she? I love that energy. He hung up on me. I phoned him back and asked why he hung up on me and just got a, I don't know, reply. Because he knew that I was right. He wouldn't tell me who I was, told me he was a randomer, but I finally got it out of him that it was a girl that sat 2 seats down from me in class. I know we all do stupid shit when we're young, but this has always stuck with me. Yeah, obviously. I love the attitude of knowing that it's happening and seeing it on your phone and not saying anything and just like waiting to hear from him. That's strong. And then like getting that phone call and like knowing what it's going to be. Oh my God, imagine you've just cheated, right? Imagine you're the guy. You've done that and then you ring your girl after and you're like, shit, oh my God, okay, I've just done it. And you know, like, when you go to cheat like this, like the height of it is all up here. And then when you've done it, instantly you're like, oh shit, like what have I done? Panic. Oh my God, my partner's gonna finish me. I feel so guilty. Like, it's never worth it unless it's like an affair, it's like an emotional thing. But in that like first moment after it, it's never worth it. Because then you've got to deal with it, you're going through shit yourself, you know, do you tell them, do you not, they're gonna find out, why did I bother? Because obviously you still love your partner and you still always want to go back to them. That's why you're cheating, otherwise you just break up. So you've just gone out, you're like, shit, oh my God, okay, fuck, oh my God, and I love her, and I feel so bad because I love her, and I don't know why I've just done this to her, because she is the love of my life, and she is my person, and I'm going to ring her and tell her, and that'll make me feel better. And then you phone up and you're like, I love you so much, and I just want to tell you I love you, and she's like, mate, who is she? I've seen Find Your Friends on your phone, you absolute dum-dum. I know you were down there with somebody, cut the bullshit and tell me. The guy panicked, clearly. He'd be like, oh my God, hang up my phone, throw it. Like, I wouldn't, that's like not where your plan goes, is it? So you were screwed. You gotta come up with a whole different story ASAP. Oh wow, that's big. Okay, I've got another one, which has actually come in as a little dilemma. So let's answer on you. She said, worst lie I've ever been told. For context, I'm in my 4th year at uni and I live in a mixed house. 2 girls, let's call them Ella and Sarah, plus 4 boys. Last Easter, Sarah and I got invited on Ella's family holiday. So we got shown all the photos of the villa, the dates, etc. Summer comes around and I haven't really heard much about the holiday, but assumed that we just booked last minute as she was going away with her family for a month. Anyway, a few weeks go by and I get a message from Ella. Hey gal, really sorry, but I've decided to only take Lucy as there's not enough space in the villa as my sisters are each bringing a friend. Oh my God, that's hard. Bearing in mind, this villa slept 12 people and she has a family of 5, so that equals 8. Oh my God, that's heartbreaking. Oh, especially with your friends as well. That, like I always say, or loads of people say, like a friendship breakup can be so much harder than a guy one. Because like guys, partners, even if they like the love of your life, you know you can love again. But friends, sometimes friends are just like hard to come by. And you also like share so much. I know you do with a partner as well, but like your friends, I don't know, it's just like a different type of love and memories, isn't it? She said, at least just be honest and that would have been less hurtful. It's the fact that I had been shown everything that hurts the most. However, the worst part is that we had another year of uni. I'm currently about to finish and I'm living with them. So the other day I overheard that Ella is going back to the same villa this summer and is inviting Sarah again, but told me she wasn't going away with her family this summer. What should I do? As obviously I'm not going to ask her about it, but they just being such shit friends to me, and I'm about to finish uni. I don't want it to ruin my final weeks. Look, I just think, firstly, you've got to understand, if someone's doing that to you, they've shown you something, they've told you and then they've changed their mind. Something has happened, and I'm not saying that you've done anything. I'm just saying like something has happened in that situation, in your guys' friendship, wherever, to make them change their mind. The first thing you've got to do is just ask them. Don't go in like with an argument. I would just go in, and I'm saying this, I find this so hard to do because I hate confrontation, and I'm so much better at it now. Because I realise that if you don't confront somebody about something, it will be worse. If you don't say something to them and you say, okay, well, I'm not going to say anything and I'll deal with it, it will be so much worse for you and for the whole atmosphere in the house. So even though it's so hard to go and face somebody, it will 100% be better for you because you know where you stand at the end of it, and it will clear the tension and it'll just be truth. Like the truth will come out. So I think you need to go to them and just say, I think go to the one who's got the villa. I can't remember if it's Ella or Sarah, obviously they're fake names, yeah. But go to the one with the villa and just say, look, I don't want to argue with you, I don't want to fall out, you're my friend, we've nearly finished uni. Like, set it up with all the nice things, you know, and obviously all the truth. We've nearly finished uni and I don't want this to ruin it, but obviously I'm upset that I am being invited because not only did you invite me, you've shown me the pictures, which is just absolute torture, by the way. Like, look at what you can get, isn't this amazing? Yeah, we'll do it. Oh, actually, no, we're going to go. And then we're probably going to plaster it all over social media so you can see it. I'm sorry, it's very cruel. Anyway, go in, stay calm, and just say, like, you know, obviously I'm upset by it, and there must be a reason why I'm not invited, because it sleeps 12, so we all know this space. And also, I don't know your guys' friendship, but like when I used to go and visit my friend in Leeds Uni, there used to be 3 of us in the room. She only had 1 single bed. We didn't care. Like when you're in uni, like you just don't care where you sleep or where you end up. Like I've gone to parties in uni before, and me and my friend have slept on like a kitchen bench with like nothing, literally just like lying there holding hands, just like, let's go to sleep. Like you don't care. So we all know that there was space there. Apart from the fact it's a 12-bed villa, we all know there's space because girls will like share a bed. I would share a bed with 2 of my friends now, even if I didn't need to. I'd just be like, yeah, just come in. So yeah, I would go ask and say, there's obviously space, just can you let me know the reason why you haven't invited me, because I'd like to know if I've done something wrong, or if you just don't want to be friends with me anymore, then, you know, I would like to know why, and that's fine. I would just rather know because I feel quite awkward. Like, she can't come back to you and argue with her. Like, she's already a pretty bad person. The best thing, and like, that she should be able to give you and what she owes you is just a bit of honesty and telling you, like, look, the thing is, we don't get on as much anymore. Like, I fell out with my friend when I was in uni. I think I've probably said the story before, but I definitely have actually quite recently on an episode. There was 3 of us super close in uni, and then as we like went on, there was one friend that we just grew apart from naturally. Like, as you get older, you will just lose friends. It's just what happens. It's shit, but it happens. And like, she didn't do anything to annoy us. We didn't do anything to annoy her. Well, we did have actually an argument, but I won't go into that part. But I mean, like, the start of the like separation, nothing happened, and we were always like, even if that argument didn't happen, we wouldn't still be friends now because we just grew apart. So it's probably just that. She just needs to say to you, like, this has happened, blah, blah, blah. And then if it's growing apart, then just cut your losses and be like, okay, well, thank you for telling me. Or if she says, look, I was really annoyed that you didn't offer to bring food and Ella or wherever did, then you can be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'll do that. Like, if you've actually done something that has upset them, then you'd rather know, and maybe you can make it better and be like, I'm sorry, I didn't realise I would upset you. Let's make it right and let's be friends again. Like, that's obviously the best outcome. Worst outcome is they don't want to be friends, you think you're going apart, and you'll be like, well, actually, I don't want to be friends with you either, because how cruel are you? So, you know, you have to remember that they have fucked you over a bit there, or screwed you over, and they haven't been very nice. So, gauge it out. Obviously, let me know how you get on. Oh, I felt like a little agony then. No, it's because you're in uni and I'm in my 30s, and I just have some life experience behind me now. Maybe we should do this segment every week. If you've got a little problem, we can call it, what can we call it? We can call it, I was trying to think of like a pun of like, instead of love what luck, like love what issues or something, but we can just call it SOS. Because I use that quite a lot, like SOS. My nails are short and I'm having a meltdown. We can do a little SOS section if you like. If you want to do that, send me a message or leave a comment below, answer the Q&A, wherever. Yeah, let me know if we want to introduce that to the pod. We can get everybody involved. People go through a lot of stuff, you know. People are dealing with a lot of stuff. My BBC News notifications this last week have been actually unhinged. It was like one bad thing after another, which I know news notifications always are. But this week, did you see that man that shot a child through his hedge over an argument over some land? Some 71-year-old man who's like lived his life as a borderline recluse with his wife is in some argument over land and just randomly one day got up and put a shotgun through a hedge and ended up murdering a child. Speechless. People are actually mental, and I think it's because people have just gone through so much stuff these days. I don't know. Stuff is just like not going well at the minute. Maybe SOS can help. Anyway, okay guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening as always. Show me some love, come give me a follow, leave me a review. Let me know your feedback if you want me to add anything. Honestly, I think every single week, I don't think there's been a week yet that I've put an episode out and I'm like, that was really good. Love that. I love recording them and I love parts of the episode, like if I get a really nice story or whatever. But I'm still always like, shit, 'cause it's just me here. So please, like, obviously I love all your feedback, all your comments, which I really appreciate. But yeah, if you want to add something, just come and let me know. Yeah, once again, I hope you all have an amazing week, thriving in the sun. Love it. And I'll speak to you next Tuesday. Thank you.